Coming up on Speedway Line Report Radio, presented to you by Shaler Acura of Manchester, Connecticut. Tonight, joining me and my co-host, Ricky Rotondo. He competes on the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour. Driver Dave Sapienza will be joining us. He drives the number 36. He'll tell us how his 2018 season is going. We'll also discuss his fourth-place finish this past Saturday night at Riverhead. Driver Ryan Preece will talk with us about how things are going for him on the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour, in the Xfinity Series, and with the SK Modified this year, which includes victories, of course, over at Bristol Motor Speedway and Langley Speedway. And we'll be taking your phone calls, 203-757-1320. We stream live at WATR.com, and to hear our shows in a rebroadcast, you can now go to SidsView.com. You can also check us out on TuneIn Radio and on the Simple Radio app. Today is Monday, July 9th, 2018, and Speedway Line Report Radio is headed your way right now.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
The green flag is in the air, and it's time for the Speedway Line Report, presented by Shaler Acura of Manchester, broadcasting from our WATR studios in Waterbury, Connecticut, and streaming live around the world. Now, here's your host.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Speedway Line Report Radio. Gary Danko here in our Waterbury studio at WATR, 1320 AM. We're also streaming online at WATR.com, and all shows are archived at SidsView.com. My co-host is Rocket Rick Rotondo from R&R Fabrication. This show is also being brought to you by J.M. Montesano Auto Body, Sign Pro, Jim's Lawn Care Service, Levine Auto and Truck Parts, Prestige Body Works, and Grotto Restaurant. Ricky, how are you?
Doing well.
Second place finish for Eric Burnt and the race team that you work with on Friday night over at Stafford Motor Speedway. Another victory. Ronnie Williams picked that went up in the SK Modified. Tell us about how things went for you and the Eric Burnt car.
We had a good car. We cut out to the lead after we started, I think, fourth. And after the lap or the second lap or something, we were leading. And he got ahead a little bit, and there was a few cautions here and there. And then once everything got straightened out, Ronnie Williams was slowly picking his way up to the front. And I was on the radio with Eric. I says, get on your horse and get on out there. And he tried, and Ronnie Williams' car was just a little bit better in the middle of the corner than we were. And that was just enough to, get by us on one of the, starts and stuff. Mm-hmm. And that was it. It was, we had a good car. There's no complaining about it. We had a good car. But we were second fastest.
Yep. Another good field of race cars at Stafford Motor Speedway on Friday night.
It was all right. It was a little bit less than their norm because we just had the 100-lapper.
Right.
And a lot of cars got wrecked. And everybody's kind of hoping for a rain out or two now.
Right, because you guys have gone right from the Sizzler till now with no rainouts.
Yeah, and I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago. We went the whole season except for I think it was either the last Friday night or the second to last Friday night. They didn't have to cancel that.
Right.
Because it rained in the morning.
Yep.
As soon as they saw that rain in the morning, Stafford put on their thing, canceled, and they didn't have to because we could have got it in if they wanted to. But they canceled it because they know everybody needs a break.
Sure.
To
kind of regroup.
Yeah, just to regroup because, if you're behind the 8 ball and you keep on taking the hits, it ends up getting a little bit hard. You need that week off just to...
catch up on everything and gives everybody a break. Well, we'll see what happens this coming Friday night. How the crowd's been over at Stafford?
Good and bad. I mean, it was pretty good this week because they had the fireworks and stuff there, so it was pretty good this week. But if it's going to be hot again this week and there's no fireworks this week, and not too sure how good the crowd's going to be. When it's hot and miserable like this, nobody wants to go out and watch a race.
It's
tough to watch a race.
Keep our eye on that. Once again, the number that you need tonight, if you want to talk auto racing with Ricky or myself or any of my scheduled guests, 203-757-1320, 203-757-1320. Our guest tonight, Dave Sapienza. He runs on the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour. He had a fourth-place finish at Riverhead. We'll talk to him about that and much more. And Ryan Preece, who's very busy in 2018. Of course, runs on the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour when his schedule allows. He's also running in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. He's also runs an SK Modified. We'll talk to him about all of that and much more on this edition of Speedway Line Report Radio. We'll step out for our first commercial break, and when we come back, our first guest of the evening, Dave Sapienza, he'll join us.
There's nowhere else like Shaler Acura in Manchester. Shaler Acura is Connecticut's first Acura dealer. Whether it's an MDX or RDX sport utility or a sport luxury sedan like the ILX or TLX, Shaler has what you're looking for. They also have the area's best selection of certified pre-owned Acuras in the area. Shaler Acura is the only Connecticut Acura dealer to earn the prestigious Dealer of Distinction Award by Acura for outstanding sales and service 18 times. At Shaler, they make owning and driving an Acura easy. Visit their ultra-modern, newly renovated facility today. Shaler Acura, 345 Center Street, Manchester, exit 60 off I-84, or visit them on the web at www.shaleracura.com. In the market for a new or pre-owned Acura? There's only one place to go, Shaler Acura in Manchester. Shaler offers the area's best selection of new and certified pre-owned Acuras, combined with being Connecticut's only Acura dealer to earn the prestigious Acura Dealership of Distinction Award 18 times. At Shaler, we make owning an Acura easy. Shaler Acura, 345 Center Street in Manchester, or visit us on the web at www.shaleracura.com.
Opinions expressed on the Speedway Line Report do not necessarily reflect those of WATR management and staff, or the management and staff of the SpeedwayLineReport.com or VintageModifieds.com.
Welcome back to Speedway Line Report Radio, presented to you by Shaler Acura of Manchester, Connecticut. Once again, 203-757-1320. If you want to talk auto racing with Ricky or myself or any of our scheduled guests, we are streaming live at WATR.com, and all shows are archived at SidsView.com. Thanks to Tom DiMaggio. Tom and his crew, they do a great job, so check out all of Tom's work at SidsView.com. Our first guest of the evening is all set and ready to go. He runs on the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour. He finished fourth this past Saturday night at Riverhead. Dave Sapienza now joins us, the driver of the number 36. Dave, how are you?
Hey, how you doing today?
Doing very well. Thanks for taking time out to be with us tonight. First of all, a great run for you and your race team this past Saturday night. Take us through it.
Yeah, no, I was pretty happy with the situation. The car was pretty decent in practice. My only downfall sometimes is time trialing. I just have I need that extra lap. So I kind of like the group qualifying a little bit better. This way I could get that extra lap and get me in a better position. But I started 10th. The car came in late, which we predicted it would do, and it was just the track conditions were a little different than last year where we finished second. But I'm real happy with the outcome. Another top 5 for us. On into almost like halfway into the season. We had a couple bad weekends throughout the year so far, but basically a couple top 5 so far. So I'm looking forward to going into Loudon.
And of course, Riverhead, one of your home tracks.
Yeah. Actually, we tested at Riverhead. Not really tested, but we went there for opening night because the tour was off that month for the month of May. So we went there and was trying some stuff with the Riverhead tires, and we really didn't have much luck there. It was pretty embarrassing, but we didn't make too many laps. But I just wanted to get in the car and feel it out. But it's the same car that we used last year, and I was real happy with it on Saturday. I mean, we were pretty close to hitting our marks, but a little more fine tuning as we go through the stretch. I'm sure we'll pick up what I need to finish up front a little bit more.
Sure.
I always thought it was funny that they go to Riverhead Speedway, and then the very next week they go to Loudon.
Yeah.
They go from the tiniest, littlest track.
From the smallest to the biggest, you know?
Yeah.
It's pretty big separation right there. You know, you could fit probably 3 or 4 Riverheads right on the infield of Loudon. But yeah, it is. It's something to look forward to, though, because you know, Riverhead, you know, you're really confined. At least Loudon, you can, you know, take a deep breath and ride. You know, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, it's a Loudon. When if you're by yourself a little bit, when you're going down the backstretch, you could kind of stretch out a little bit, get ready for the corner. All right.
Exactly. You're not all tensed up. Riverhead, you're constantly, you're on and off the throttle, you know, in a matter of seconds. And you know, depending on where you are on the track, if you got to go high, low, because over the past weekend, I think it was probably one of the, I think they might one of the longest green flag runs that they had at Riverhead for over the years, because we went 100 and. I'm not sure if it was 150 or 160 green flag or maybe even more laps. I didn't even really look into it to see what we really went. But there was only two small cautions. I think they might have said they had 20-something caution laps from the whole night. You know, normally when we run there in the past, there's been so many cautions that you're almost going 100 green flag laps compared to the 100 caution laps. And a lot of people get upset with that when you look at the statistics. It's like you basically only ran 100 laps. But this weekend was not that it was tough. It was different because nobody really expects that at Riverhead. Riverhead's usually you start 28 or 30 cars. By the end of the night, there's only 14 or 12 cars left.
Right.
So it was interesting that not too many cars. I don't even know how many were taken off on the hook, if any, or if anybody dropped out. So I really don't know. But it was pretty intense. You know, I mean, everybody's talking about the leaders battling, and you know, I watched some of the video. It was pretty wild working through the lap traffic. Even, you know, for me, where, you know, I think they lapped me towards the end with, like, you know, 5 or 6 to go. You know, I kind of just tried to get out of their way. I didn't know where I was at that point. You're in a daze. You know, unless you're leading and running second, you don't know where you are. So I was running. I think at towards the end I was in 6th, and I just happened to get lucky with some lap traffic and get around Timmy and Chase at the last second. So I moved me into the top 4. But the lap traffic, it worked for you or it worked against you. You know, but earlier in the race it kind of worked against me, but later in the race it was to my favor. But it was definitely interesting. It was one for the record books, I'm sure.
Yeah, actually, it was there was 3 caution flags for 21 laps. The time of the race, 49 minutes and 26 seconds for this past Saturday night's NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour race at Riverhead, a race that Justin Bonsignor picked up the victory. Ryan Preece was second, and Ryan will join us a little bit later on in the show. And third was Doug Colby. Our guest, Dave Sapienza, was 4th. And rounding out the top 5 was Timmy Salamito. And the next stop for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour comes up at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Of course, they'll have that race on Friday, that All-Star race. And then on Saturday will be a point race on July the 21st. Back on with Dave. Dave, how would you grade your 2018 season on the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour?
I mean, I'm going to give myself maybe a B+. I mean, some of the stuff that happened was over the beginning of the year, pretty much out of our control. You know, I got tangled up in an incident at Stafford, and you know, it kind of something that was unavoidable. And then when we went to Langley just a couple weeks ago, when Lutz had lost the motor, we got caught in some oil, and that kind of ruined our day. But I mean, me as a driver, I'm probably one of the older drivers compared to all the younger guys out there. I mean, I've learned a lot over the past couple of years, and I got a good backing between Tommy Grasso, and his brother helping me out, and those guys. I think those guys are basically the best. You know, they've shown that I can improve, and they're very knowledgeable. And we're starting to work together real good, just like we did last year. At the end of the year, we started picking it up. A lot of it's, input. at first I didn't have a lot of input to give to them because it was all new to me. From just running at Riverhead, just banging around every week to when you start getting serious about this, it's, a lot of times I come in, they ask me, Dave, what do you need? What do you think? I'll have to sit in the car for a couple minutes and kind of gather my thoughts and wonder, is it tight? Is it loose? Where do I need, on my entry, exit, center? So a lot of it is coming down to whatever I give Tommy to work with. And I'm starting to get better at that. It's something that I've never really been good at because I'll say to him, I don't know what I need. You tell me, you watching the car. And a lot of times they're not watching the car. And they say, that even if we watch the car, we don't know what's going on inside. So I'm going to rate myself, like a B+. Hopefully going into Loudon, we can, pick up another top 5 and, go from there,
Yeah, it'd be nice to get the W up at Loudon.
Listen, I always tell myself, top 5, I'm happy. Whatever comes in between that first and 5th place car, I'm aiming for it. But everybody wants to win. There's no doubt about it. Especially me. It's something. It's one of my dreams. I've come so close, not unexpectedly. We worked our way to the front. The past 2 years, and it's always been a setback because of an incident. But I'm always thinking positive. So I say top 5, but I'm really saying I'm looking for that W too.
Yeah, that's like, I've been a part of a bunch of wins and things like that. But the one time when, I helped out at Loudon and, they won the race there, it was like a different thing altogether. It was like, you just stepped up a level. I'm like, wow. It was probably a life-changing moment for me, Like I said, I'm one of the older guys out there driving, and I'm looking for that. I would love to, when my career ends, to say, hey, I at least won 1 or 2 or how many it is, because, it's just a lifelong dream. I started a lot later, than these guys. These kids are getting in the cars, 13, 14, 15 years old. I didn't start till I was, 40 or better, Right. And so I'm just saying, if you do have that one race that you're going to win, I hope for you that it's going to be Loudon. Because that would be that would be the stage to do it on. That is, it's such a big stage to do it on. That would be the one that I would love to be. Even Bristol too, because Bristol is pretty exciting, Yeah. But I'm really looking forward to it. I just I sit back and I'm learning more each week. I take one race at a time, and I try to improve on everything that we do, and myself as a driver.
We're talking with Dave Sapienza. He runs on the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour. He finished 4th at Riverhead this past Saturday night. The next stop, as I mentioned just a few minutes ago, will be at New Hampshire Motor Speedway for the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour. Dave, you're currently running 9th in the point standings, and so far, so good for you and your race team.
Yeah. I'm looking. We're looking forward to. Last year I finished, I think, overall 7th. I would love to be, better than that this year. But like I said, we take one race at a time, and I would love to, come out in the top 5 in the points this year. But there's still got another half a year to go, half a race season anyway. I think we only have 7 races in the books.
Yeah, 7 races in the books. Yeah,
seven races in the book. So we got another. I think there's 9 left, so we're almost to halfway there. And if my luck goes right and everything falls into place, I would love to be in the top 5 this year, walking out when we leave Thompson at the World Series.
Yeah, it's one of them things where if you don't start off the year at 100% where you're not, involved in anything, to win the championship is pretty bleak. And that's when you gotta, just like with us on, the Friday night stuff, it's like, well, we wrecked out 3 times so far, so winning the championship is kind of out.
But you can't really. You got to look at what happened to Kobe too, though. Look at how he started last year. Everybody, they already predicted he was done for the year.
Yep.
You know, and what he pulled off. So it goes to show you determination. I mean, them guys, you know, filling them guys, you gotta look at what they've accomplished. You can't knock them. They've done it year in and year out, and they dominated. But I think they're going to have a problem this year with Justin. I think Justin and his team just coming out of the box. Even when we were at when we went to Myrtle Beach, and you know, first time in the car, and first a whole new team. Not a whole new team, but new crew chief, new car. Everything's new, and they were fast. And I told everybody, I said, I think they're going to be the ones shooting for the championship this year. And look, he just took another win, so that's 4 this year. It's going to be hard to beat him unless something bad happens on that team and they have a couple of bad weeks. But even if they did, I still think they're going to be the ones to beat this year. I mean, you know, not knocking Colby. I mean, Colby can come back from the deficit like he did last year, but I think it's going to be them. You know, it's going to be the ones in the 51 crew and the team to beat this year. I mean. But, you know, anything could go.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
that's just my prediction anyway.
Yeah, we talked to Justin earlier this year, and it was, again, they changed their cars, they changed the crew chief, they changed everything. This is not the first time these guys do it. And
no, it's impressive.
It is. It's impressive when they come out and then they start winning. That's like when he switched to Spafko. They didn't have a very good beginning part of the year, but then he turned it on toward the end. Missed the championship, but I mean, it was like so close. And then they're like, well, this isn't good enough. Let's change it again. That's like, wow.
Yeah, and I like Kenny. I like the car owner. We talk, we goof around a lot. And I asked him, I was like, you know, what took you so long to decide which way you guys were going to go? And he said they were that close to like packing it in. He says he was frustrated to the top. He was just like, you know, he told me, he said, Dave, I spoke to Justin, and Justin told him, listen, you know, I'll do whatever you want. You want to quit or move on, go somewhere else or do. So they sat down. He was literally at the edge where he was just like, they weren't going to go on any further. And they made the move, and they got the person they wanted to do it with, and they got the cars. And, you know, right now they're living it up. They're smiling. They got so much momentum rolling into New Hampshire and the rest of the season. I mean, you know, it's impressive to take 4 out of 7 so far.
Dave, looking at the schedules, we mentioned the next stop for the tour will be at New Hampshire, and then, of course, you guys will be back at Stafford Motor Speedway on August 3rd, and Thompson on August 8th, Bristol Motor Speedway on August 15th. But what about Oswego Speedway coming up on September 1st?
I'm looking forward to Oswego. I like the trip up there. The track's really. I'm trying to figure out what I can compare it to. It's different, but it's more of a momentum type track. It's fun. You know, it's wide enough, and there's a lot. You can move around a lot. But I look forward to Oswego. I really do. I like that racetrack. My biggest looking forward to, my biggest trip is going to be Bristol this year, because I know it's going to be the last race of the season. We were doing real well last year, but we had a mechanical failure. And that's what I'm aiming for, because I want to go back, because 2 years ago I didn't even qualify for the race. And last year I think we qualified in the top 10, and we were running close to, I think, 5th or 6th midway through the race, and when my rear end broke. But I'm looking forward to that. I'm also looking, like I said, Oswego, definitely looking forward to it. Nice ride up there, hang out for a day or so, go to the New York State Fair, spend the day over there, and then go right racing the next day, you know?
Sure.
Yeah, Oswego, that's a real driver's type of track where you need throttle control.
That's it. You need a lot of throttle control. And it's like I said, it's a pretty decent racetrack. There's plenty of room, and it's a lot of fun.
Dave Sapienza on the line with us. He runs on the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour. We're talking about his 4th place finish and other things pertaining to the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour. And Dave, when you were going to auto racing before you started racing, or even now, was there a driver on a local level that you looked up to, or a team that you worked with?
No, I growing up, being that I live so close to the racetrack right here in Riverhead on Long Island, it was always Charlie Jazumback. I mean, I was only, a little kid. My sister used to take me to the racetrack probably when I was 2-3 years old.
Yeah.
And as a kid growing up, Charlie just waxed everybody. You know, he was the man. So following him throughout the years, you know, I always wanted to do it as a little kid, but you know, we just didn't have the funding. You know, I always had to work, and you know, we didn't have money. But it was fun to go watch. You know, everybody has that dream, whether it be racing or, you know, motorcycles or boats or whatever, or any type of dream at all. And a lot of times when it starts becoming a reality, you say to yourself, wow, you know, it's something to look forward to. You know, I'm glad that I have always had that dream. But like I said, you know, being that I got a late start, I'm having fun. You know, and you know, if anything, if I had to quit now or had to stop now for any type of reason, I would say, hey, listen, I'm glad I did it, because if I didn't, I'd be pissed at myself if I never took that chance, you know.
Okay. Well, Dave, I want to thank you for spending some time with us on this edition of Speedway Line Report Radio. Once again, great job by you and your team, coming home with a fourth-place finish at Riverhead, currently ninth in the point standings, and still a lot of racing to go on the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour, with the next stop coming up at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, July 20th and 21st. Dave, always a pleasure talking to you. Good luck the remainder of the 2018 season.
Thanks a lot, fellas. Take care.
You're very welcome. Dave Sapienza joining us tonight on this edition of Speedway Line Report Radio. We'll take a commercial break. Rick and I will come back. We'll talk a little auto racing, and then just about 6:40, we're going to talk to Ryan Preece, who's been doing some racing on the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour. He's been doing some racing in the Xfinity Series. He's doing some SK Modified racing. He's staying very busy, the bottom line. We'll talk to him all about that and much more when we return.
In the market for a new or pre-owned Acura? There's only one place to go, Shaler Acura in Manchester. Shaler offers the area's best selection of new and certified pre-owned Acuras, combined with being Connecticut's only Acura dealer to earn the prestigious Acura Dealership of Distinction Award 18 times. At Shaler, we make owning an Acura easy. Shaler Acura, 345 Center Street in Manchester, or visit us on the web at www.shaleracura.com. There's nowhere else like Shaler Acura in Manchester. Shaler Acura is Connecticut's first Acura dealer. Whether it's an MDX or RDX sport utility, or a sport luxury sedan like the ILX or TLX, Shaler has what you're looking for. They also have the area's best selection of certified pre-owned Acuras in the area. Shaler Acura is the only Connecticut Acura dealer to earn the prestigious Dealer of Distinction Award by Acura for outstanding sales and service 18 times. At Shaler, they make owning and driving an Acura easy. Visit their ultra-modern, newly renovated facility today. Shaler Acura, 345 Center Street, Manchester, exit 60 off I-84, or visit them on the web at www.shaleracura.com.
Welcome back to Speedway Line Report Radio here on WATR 1320 AM. We're also streaming online at WATR.com, and all shows are archived at SidsView.com. I'm Gary Danko. My co-host is Rocket Rick Rotondo from R&R Fabrication. We just heard from Dave Sapienza. Coming up at about 6:40, Ryan Preece will join us, and we'll talk auto racing with him. 203-757-1320. That's how you'll reach us here at our Waterbury studio. We're with you every Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. right here, WATR 1320 AM. Ricky, R&R Fabrication, business that you own. How's everything going, making bodies for different race teams?
Yeah, it's going. I got to make a front spoiler and a back panel for Ed Pulio for his son. I got to finish making that tonight. I started on it yesterday. He texted me. So I got to finish that tonight so they can get their stuff. And I have a bunch of I need stuff for Ronnie Williams, Tony Santangelo. I still got to finish up a few things on his car so he can get it out at my shop. I mean, it's just crazy.
It never ends.
No matter what I finish, there's already something there, and sometimes there's two things waiting now.
Of course, Monday nights over at Stafford, the Wild Thing carts are in action. And, of course, Eric Byrne, who runs an SK Modified on Friday nights over at Stafford Motor Speedway. His kids are involved over there. How are they doing?
I think they're doing all right. I think they each won this year. because his oldest daughter's not doing it anymore, but his son and his youngest daughter is, and they're still running. So on Friday night, it's funny afterwards. Eric's son will tell him what he did wrong.
Oh, okay. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it is.
How old are the kids now?
I think Parker's around 10, and I think Sammy. I'm saying Sammy. I'm talking about my cousin. I think Summer. She's around 6, going to be 7, I think.
Okay. Future racers in the Burnt family.
Absolutely.
And that's always good. Speedway Line Report Radio is also being brought to you by J.M. Montesano Auto Body Works, specialists in auto collision, all work guaranteed. They're located at 390 Lombard Street in New Haven. If you've been in an auto accident and you want your car repaired, then I suggest you call J.M. Montesano Auto Body Works. Once again, specialists in auto collision, all work guaranteed, 390 Lombard Street in New Haven. Give them a call. 203-865-1389 for J.M. Montesano Auto Body Works. We'll step out for another commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Ryan Preece about his second-place finish on the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour at Riverhead. He also competed Friday night at Daytona International Speedway in the Xfinity Series, and we'll also talk SK Modified Racing with him as well. All that and much more when we return.
There's nowhere else like Shaler Acura in Manchester. Shaler Acura is Connecticut's first Acura dealer. Whether it's an MDX or RDX sport utility or a sport luxury sedan like the ILX or TLX, Shaler has what you're looking for. They also have the area's best selection of certified pre-owned Acuras in the area. Shaler Acura is the only Connecticut Acura dealer to earn the prestigious Dealer of Distinction Award by Acura for outstanding sales and service 18 times. At Shaler, they make owning and driving an Acura easy. Visit their ultra-modern, newly renovated facility today. Shaler Acura, 345 Center Street, Manchester, exit 60 off I-84, or visit them on the web at www.shaleracura.com. In the market for a new or pre-owned Acura? There's only one place to go, Shaler Acura in Manchester. Shaler offers the area's best selection of new and certified pre-owned Acuras, combined with being Connecticut's only Acura dealer to earn the prestigious Acura Dealership of Distinction Award 18 times. At Shaler, we make owning an Acura easy. Shaler Acura, 345 Center Street in Manchester, or visit us on the web at www.shaleracura.com.
Welcome back to Speedway Line Report Radio here on WATR 1320 AM. Also streaming online at WATR.com, and all shows are archived at SidsView.com. My co-host is Rocket Rick Rotondo. I'm Gary Danko. We just heard from Dave Sapienza, who runs on the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. Our next guest is set and ready to go. He's very busy in 2018. Ryan Preece now joins us. Ryan, how are you?
I'm doing good, Gary. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for joining us tonight. I know you got a lot going on, but appreciate your time. First of all, let's kick off the conversation. Friday night in the Xfinity Series at Daytona International Speedway, you started from the front row because qualifying was canceled because of Mother Nature. Take us through your night.
Well, it was pretty short just because we ended up having a piece of debris go through the radiator, obviously through the grill screen. So not really much to show other than the first stage. And the second stage, I think we were back up to ninth and kind of slowly making our way back forward. But just unfortunate that we had that happen. It's not really anything that you could predict or try to stop from happening. So at the end of the day, just not really much to say other than that, unfortunate deal.
No. And now, when's your next event for Joe Gibbs Racing?
New Hampshire in 2 weeks.
Okay. And, of course, so we know that you run very well there, whether it's in a full-fended race car or the open-wheel modified. So you leave Daytona. Now you come back to Riverhead, for the running of the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour event, and you and Justin Bonsignore put on a pretty good show. Tell us how that all went.
Well, we had a really good car. I had a good car at the 300 a couple weeks back, and it didn't really change too much. And Justin was just as good. It was just one of those deals where I think we were one adjustment away from being a little bit better to beat him, but I'm sure he was one adjustment away from being perfect. So at the end of the day, I'm just happy from all the feedback that we've heard as far as how good of a race it was, because if he wasn't good and I was good, or if I was bad and he was good, it would have been a pretty bad race for the fans. So at the end of the day, we were able to navigate traffic really well and continue racing, and that's what it's really about, is really just putting a show on for the fans and making sure when everybody leaves they want to come back next time.
Yeah, I think there was only 4 cars that finished on the lead lap or something like that.
Three cars.
Yeah. And I mean,
and for people to say that that's a good show, they were, and just because 3 cars finished on the lead lap didn't make it a bad show, because we were racing through lap traffic, and it was a really good race from what I've heard. So that's what's pretty cool.
And I mean, that's like a couple weeks ago at Stafford, the race Ronnie Williams from the 100 lapper there. At the end, Ronnie pulled away, but all that time before, there was 3 cars that kept on changing the lead. That's putting on a show.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. It's something that I tell people all the time. Racing, it's all good when you go out and you dominate, but it's not good for the fans. What you need to do is you need to duke it out. You need to swap the lead. You got to put a show on, and then the last 5 laps is when if you got that much more of a dominant car, you take off and you win the race and you take the money. But before that, it's about the fans and making people want to come back.
Ryan, going back to the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour event this past weekend at Riverhead Raceway, a race that we mentioned that Justin Bonsignore pulled off the victory. You were right behind him. Caution flags, only 3 for 21 laps. Were you surprised?
Yeah, absolutely. That was kind of what I was actually intending on there being a lot more cautions, which is kind of why I made the adjustments that I did. So for the first time, what I feel all year, I felt like I had a pretty good short run car, better than a long run car, which is interesting because Justin and I had such good cars in the long run. But I really felt like I've had better long run cars this season than I have had short runs, and this weekend where I needed a long run car, I had a short run car. So it was definitely something where I didn't ever think with 30 cars starting the event that we would have had 20 whatever, I think 22 caution flag laps. At Riverhead Raceway, a quarter mile with 30 cars, I would have thought we would have had 60 to 80 laps of caution.
Sure. Ryan Preece is on the line with us. Our phone number here at WATR is 203-757-1320. I'm Gary Danko, my co-host Rick Rotondo from R&R Fabrication, back on with Ryan Preece talking about the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour event, which was this past Saturday at Riverhead Raceway. Let's go back a couple weeks back. Ryan, you pulled off a victory on the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour. Actually, you got 2 wins this year, one at Stafford back on April 29th, and one at Langley Speedway going back a few weeks ago. Tell us about the event at Langley.
At Langley, we just had a really good race car. One thing I've been focusing on is trying to make my car better, because everybody knows year to year things change, and if you're stuck in what you've done in the past, you're not going to get any better. So I've just been really concentrating on kind of fine-tuning where I felt like I've needed to get better, and that's really, I hit on something at the Riverhead 300, and I've just been kind of fine-tuning it for each track I go to. And when we went to Langley, the car was just super fast right out of the gate, had a lot of short-run speed, a lot of long-run speed, stability, the whole deal, which is what you want in a race car. So, at the end of the day, I was pumped with how good of a race car we had on the 630 for the 100 laps. And then on top of that, also with the 500, with the adjustments we made at the stop. So Langley was a cool racetrack. It was really fast. It was a 3/8 mile, a lot faster than most 3/8 miles. So, but at the same time, you had to be pretty conscious of not wearing your tires out, because for some reason the asphalt down there is just super fine, and it can really shred your stuff. So it was just pretty cool to come away with a victory at Langley, and it's kind of got us on a roll here where me and Justin have been running 1-2 and leading laps and swapping for the lead. So it's been a lot of fun.
And then in a couple weeks when you go to Loudon with Gibbs, you're going to be driving your tour car there also, correct?
Yeah, yep. I'll be in the All-Star race and the regular wheel modified tour race.
Yeah, that's good. I didn't know if they were going to infringe on it and they wanted you to concentrate on the Gibbs thing.
No, they won't have any issues.
Well, that's good. That now, are you racing the rest of the year on the tour? Are you going to all the races?
Yeah, I'll be at most of them. The only one I'm going to miss right now is Riverhead in September.
Okay.
Yeah, well, a little bit of rain, that gets washed right away, because they don't make them up when they get rained out.
Yeah, hopefully so. We'll see.
And Ryan, you're also doing some SK modified racing over at Stafford Motor Speedway, of course, over at Thompson as well. Let's talk about Stafford first. Now, you've been working with Mike Paquette, and you guys got a brand new chassis car?
Yeah, I actually built a brand new car, and I've been pretty happy with it. Just probably not going to bring it out for the rest of the year, though. So I'm looking forward to going to Thompson here this Saturday, and for the rest of the races that I'm going on there.
And, of course, going back on the Xfinity Series, of course, back in April, you scored a big win for Joe Gibbs Racing in the Xfinity Series, and that had to be, there again, another special day for you and that race team.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Anytime you win at Bristol is a pretty big deal, and it was definitely, we won a friggin' UTV, so that was pretty awesome, and a sword. Not many people can say they've won a sword. So, and what's pretty special about Bristol is when you get to pull up on Victory Lane, which is on top of a building in the middle of Bristol Motor Speedway. That's something that not a lot of people get to do. So I was really pumped. I was really excited because it was my second win in Xfinity, and
sure.
Hopefully we can go to our next however many races it is and try to win a couple more.
You got to try to get that grandfather clock.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do it at Martinsville. They don't run at Martinsville.
No.
And I already have one, though, so it's all right.
Okay, talking with Ryan Preece. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation. The number that you need, 203-757-1320. Speedway Line Report Radio returns right after this.
There's nowhere else like Shaler Acura in Manchester. Shaler Acura is Connecticut's first Acura dealer. Whether it's an MDX or RDX sport utility or a sport luxury sedan like the ILX or TLX, Shaler has what you're looking for. They also have the area's best selection of certified pre-owned Acuras in the area. Shaler Acura is the only Connecticut Acura dealer to earn the prestigious Dealer of Distinction Award by Acura for outstanding sales and service 18 times. At Shaler, they make owning and driving an Acura easy. Visit their ultra-modern, newly renovated facility today. Shaler Acura, 345 Center Street, Manchester, exit 60 off I-84, or visit them on the web at www.shaleracura.com. In the market for a new or pre-owned Acura? There's only one place to go, Shaler Acura in Manchester. Shaler offers the area's best selection of new and certified pre-owned Acuras, combined with being Connecticut's only Acura dealer to earn the prestigious Acura Dealership of Distinction Award 18 times. At Shaler, we make owning an Acura easy. Shaler Acura, 345 Center Street in Manchester, or visit us on the web at www.shaleracura.com.
Welcome back to Speedway Line Report Radio here on WATR 1320 AM. Also streaming online at WATR.com, and all shows are archived at SidsView.com. Ricky Rotondo is my co-host. I'm Gary Danko. Back on with our second guest of the evening, Ryan Preece, who's very busy in 2018, whether it's running some races in the Xfinity Series, running on the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, running an SK Modified or a Sunoco Modified, certainly staying busy. And Ryan, you're also doing some races on the Tri-Track Series as well?
Yeah, I think I'll be at Star in a couple weeks, and I think they have a show at Waterford. I'm not really sure, but kind of just take the modified schedule week to week right now. It's pretty hard to keep up with everything.
And I'll tell you, going back to the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, Ryan, how about the car counts this year? I mean, as you mentioned, 30 cars at Riverhead. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I think NASCAR's been doing a great job. You know, Jimmy Wilson and all those guys with trying to make it easy and the temporary pass. I think you get like a 3-race pass or license to compete. So I think they're trying to make things a little bit easier for people to come do it, and that's always nice, you know, when you're having full fields.
And, you know, Ryan, I mean, you mentioned that you maintain the cars at your race shop, the cars that run on the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, and, of course, the SK Modified. So you've learned a lot. I mean, we always knew you could drive a race car, but now, you know, over the last handful of years, maintaining race cars, you've really learned a lot in the last handful of years.
Yeah, I think that just came with expanding, you know, the way people think about how a race car should work, and a lot of that came from going down south. You know, when I first went down there with Johnny Davis or Tommy Baldwin, just kind of understanding on how I feel a race car should work, and brought it to Eddie's number 6 and kind of to my SK. So it seems like it's been working out right now. We you know, in 2 races with that 40 car, we finished, or 4 races, we finished second twice. So I feel like we're on the right track, and obviously I'm pretty proud of everything we've done with Eddie Partridge, getting the Owners' Championship last year, and really, you know, 2 wins, a second, and 2 fourths this season, and 1 DNF. So, you know, it's been pretty good.
Yeah, and I mean, that's like a lot of people don't know about Ryan Preece when he first started, too, when he was 15 years old, and his father was bringing him, you know, Pennsylvania and all these other tracks here to run. And, you know, Ryan was there working on the cars all the time.
Right.
You know, learning about them. And I thought that was big, you know, because I was down there a couple times and I was watching him work on the cars, and he was getting stuff done. And, you know, that's what you have to do. You have to be able to, you know, the more you can get involved into the car, I think the better you're going to be.
Yeah, that's the truth for sure. And one thing I think I got to say is, you know, for anybody that knows my father, they know that he doesn't let me sit down. So I think that's a big thing to say, too.
Now, you've done very well, Ryan. Of course, for people that don't know, I mean, got your career started at the Silver City Quarter Midget Racetrack, and then you've just taken off from there, and you've done very well. Well, once again, thanks for being a part of the show. Good luck the remainder of the 2018 season, and always great to have you on the show.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me on, guys.
You're very welcome. Ryan Preece joining us tonight on this edition of Speedway Line Report Radio. We'll take a commercial break, and we'll be back right after this.
There's nowhere else like Shaler Acura in Manchester. Shaler Acura is Connecticut's first Acura dealer. Whether it's an MDX or RDX sport utility, or a sport luxury sedan like the ILX or TLX, Shaler has what you're looking for. They also have the area's best selection of certified pre-owned Acuras in the area. Shaler Acura is the only Connecticut Acura dealer to earn the prestigious Dealer of Distinction Award by Acura for outstanding sales and service 18 times. At Shaler, they make owning and driving an Acura easy. Visit their ultra-modern, newly renovated facility today. Shaler Acura, 345 Center Street, Manchester, exit 60 off I-84, or visit them on the web at www.shaleracura.com. In the market for a new or pre-owned Acura? There's only one place to go, Shaler Acura in Manchester. Shaler offers the area's best selection of new and certified pre-owned Acuras, combined with being Connecticut's only Acura dealer to earn the prestigious Acura Dealership of Distinction Award 18 times. At Shaler, we make owning an Acura easy. Shaler Acura, 345 Center Street in Manchester, or visit us on the web at www.shaleracura.com.
Welcome back to Speedway Line Report Radio here on WATR 1320 AM, also streaming online at WATR.com. All shows archived at SidsView.com thanks to Tom DiMaggio. We heard from Dave Sapienza. We heard from Ryan Preece. Ricky and I got a couple of minutes left here on Speedway Line Report Radio. Of course, the London Waterford Speed Bowl, they were in action this past weekend in their premier division, the SK Modifieds, and Todd Owen picked up the victory as he reeled in Rob Janovic, who's got a lot of success over at the bowl.
Yeah, I was surprised at that. I mean, I'll tell you, the last couple of years, Todd Owen's actually been running very well. I mean, it's like he got better, the last couple of years as he got older. I don't know if it was just something finally clicked in him or what it is. You should have him on one time. Yeah,
you know what, and that's something we'll definitely do. I mean, he's had a lot of success. I mean, going back to the former Riverside Park Speedway days, running late models over there in pro stocks and doing very well. And then going on to Stafford and doing well in when Stafford used to have the pro stock division, and even when he ran up at Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park in a full fended race car. And then going back several years ago, got behind the wheel of an open SK Modified, and he's done very well.
Yeah, well, a couple years ago, I think he won at Stafford in the SK.
Yes, he did.
He won at Stafford. He won a couple times down the bowl.
Oh, yeah, Todd can, there's no doubt he can get the job done.
Now he's just got to get one win at Thompson. He'll be in that small little top 10 people, whatever it is, that have won at all three tracks.
Absolutely. No, Todd has done very, very well in his racing career, no matter what racetrack that he goes to. Once again, a couple minutes left here on Speedway Line Report Radio. We're with you every Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. And once again, all shows now archived at SidsView.com. Of course, we appreciate everything Tom DiMaggio is doing for us to get us through the 2018 season. Of course, Tom Ormsby had done it for many, many years, where you used to go to SpeedwayLineReport.com, but Tom not able to do it anymore. And matter of fact, I did talk to Tom today. He's doing well. So, of course, he's living down in Lecanto, Florida, and he's relaxing down there. But, health issues, has sidelined him from...
We're all getting old.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
There ain't no stopping it.
No, you're not going to stop it. You just got to, do the best that you can and do what you need to do, too. Stay in shape, go to the doctors, and all of that. So once again, make sure if you want to listen to any of our shows for the remainder of the year, you go to SidsView.com.
Yeah, Sid actually had his equipment on a winning car again this week.
Yeah, Ronnie Williams and the SK Modified.
Yeah, so that was good for Sid because he started, I think, 10th or 12th or something. I think Ronnie Williams started. So it's good, though, you watch the car pass through the field and then get to the lead, and then there's a little back and forth with Eric, and then pulled away.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Ronnie Williams having a good season. We always knew Ronnie could drive. And
leading in the points right now.
Yep. And then, looking down, Keith Rocco finished, I believe, down. He got involved in a wreck, and Mike Christopher Jr.
Yeah, them two got involved in a wreck in 3 and 4. And they were done after that. And I mean, it's just how many spare parts can you bring out, for an SK race? And if Keith had a Nerf bar, he would have put one on. But
right.
What are you gonna do?
So we got just a minute or two left here on Speedway Line Report Radio. Once again, Monday night, 6 to 7 p.m. This is where you need to be, right here on WATR 1320 AM. Or, like I said, we also stream live at WATR.com, and you can go and listen to any of our shows now at SidsView.com. Ricky, I know once you leave here, you're going to head back to your shop at R&R Fabrication in Cheshire, where you'll be there for, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning?
When Ed Pulio's stuff is all done, I'm going to cut up parts for my next little project, and then I go home. Whatever time it is, it is.
Okay. All right. Speedway Line Report Radio is presented to you by Shaler Acura, Manchester, Connecticut. Also being brought to you by J.M. Montesano Auto Body, Sign Pro, Jim's Lawn Care Service, Levine Auto and Truck Parts, Prestige Body Works, and Grotto Restaurants. And by the way, Prestige Body Works, whether it's foreign, domestic, exotic, if it's collision and refinishing, stop by and see Carl and Brett, 3 Colonial Road Prestige Body Works. That's going to wrap things up here on Speedway Line Report Radio. For Ricky Rotondo, I'm Gary Danko. Good night.